Good morning, Grace. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Hey, let me start right off with saying something that I guess only a few people say to you. You worked your butt off for many, many years. This is not some little fluke that you did a little comedy thing and people said, oh, who's this? And gave you 2 million subscribers, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I've been making web videos for about 7 years, and the idea that you can create a viral video just doesn't happen online, so you really have to be consistent in building your brand.
And you have to do the same, fall through the same pitfalls that any of us back in the day did in media. When I was researching for you, and one thing stuck out that I didn't realize. When you were doing that damn channel, you were on there, you had like a multi-year contract. Like that was big business. That wasn't just some guy who had this site, right? And you decided to go your own way.
Yeah, I was in a traditional media contract with a new media company, which I wasn't aware of until the end, and decided to abandon a YouTube channel that I created with them, which had about 2.4 million subscribers at the time. And so I left that YouTube channel in search for my own independence and created my own YouTube channel, which is the one I curate now, called It's Grace, and it's got about 2.2 million subscribers now, which is really awesome because when you leave something like that, a place that I spent years creating my brand and my voice and me as Grace Helbig on the internet, it's really scary to wonder if the audience is going to follow you to a new channel, which sounds really, simple, that they would just click a different channel and subscribe, but you never know. And they did, which was very, very exciting and very rewarding and very motivating.
Yeah, and it is not easy, and I can relate. I was the morning guy for Clear Channel, quit the company, started my own company, built my own station, Power to Think for Yourself. That's not like right-wing or crazy. But you love it because you wake up every morning and you love what you do, but you have a lot more headaches, don't you? I mean, you're running the whole show.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. When I make my web videos, I wear all the hats. I conceptualize the ideas for videos. I shoot the videos. I'm in the videos. I edit the videos. I post the videos. I promote the videos. So you're a one-man band in a lot of ways. So getting the opportunity to make a television show was a new collaborative experience because you have to relinquish a lot of those hats to people that do the job way better than you could do. And it works out really well when you trust in people that are good people and want to maintain your brand and your voice and want to elevate it rather than compromise it. And so I've had a great experience kind of going from internet to television, which I wasn't anticipating. You hear all these horror stories of big bad networks changing the small dog and morphing it into what they want, and I haven't had that experience at all.
Well, but you do have to surround yourself with good people because the reason that people who might call you or I a control freak in a situation like that is because you know exactly through trial and error what you do and don't do to make it work, and you don't want someone to come in and think they get you and change a few things, and then all of a sudden you go from 2.4 mil down to 80,000 again.
Right, exactly. And the thing about YouTube is that they give you very specific analytics, so you know exactly who your audience is, you know who you're talking to, and you know what your relationship is with them and what their relationship is to you. And I do a lot of live comedy shows in the United States and in Europe, and so you meet the audience firsthand and you see what they're like, and you can kind of put a face to subscriber names and really be able to figure out the content that works for you and works for them and continues to grow the brand.
Well, today I know you woke up all excited because you know your show is debuting, and it almost seems surreal, I'm sure, to you, because as popular as you are, and just like I did a lot of internet shows, but I had to get a terrestrial station so that people could give me that credibility. See, I can do that too, and that's what you're doing. And I know you're really excited, and they're smart about it. You are too, but they're smart about it, using your new media side and interacting like you've always done with your viewers in television. So how is this going to work from a technical standpoint?
From a technical standpoint, I'm trying to create an interactive talk show. I'm trying to create a show that feels similar to talk shows you've seen. There are interviews with celebrities and internet personalities and members of my family, but it's kind of framed in the way you would watch a YouTube video. It takes place in my house. We talk directly to the camera. We interact with the audience to make them feel like they're hanging in with us on a Friday night, that they're invited to this party at my house, that their questions are answered, that they get to add in input for how I end the show, what kind of art is in the house. So it really feels like a collaborative process creating the show, that it doesn't feel like my show, it feels like our show. And E has been really, really wonderful at giving me complete creative freedom, at trusting the brand that I've built and trusting my relationship with my audience and trying to elevate it for television rather than compromise it for something else. So it's been a really great process. I'm really proud of the show, and I'm excited for people to watch it tonight.
Your angle, your intelligence in the inclusion side of what you've done from the very beginning has really, really worked for you. So obviously you always will stay with that. I do want to tell you, of all the things that you've done, I think I'm most impressed with the best-selling book and the concept that you went into a media where your voice, your look, your comedy is much, much more difficult to translate into the written word, and you did that. Is that one of your more proud accomplishments?
It really is. Writing a book is completely different than making a YouTube video. It's a lot more patience. It's a lot more time. When you make a YouTube video and you might like it, but you don't love it, you can always make another video the next day, and that doesn't happen with books. You can't write that many books in that short period of time. So it was a completely different experience, and it's just very cool to have a physical, tangible thing that came from my brain. Which to me is just very, very cool. And so that's another thing I'm really proud of. Yeah, you rest on your brain rather than your editing skills or your lighting or your facial expressions. And that is hard to translate sometimes, but I really enjoy writing, and I think it worked in my case.
Grace, one thing I think I can understand more than some people who interview you is the aspect of the Internet that makes people insecure. In other words, there had to be a moment in your life, even when you had maybe 500,000 subscribers, that you were like, all right, so I'm a big deal on the Internet. Half the world doesn't know who I am. I'm going to not be 20-something forever. Can I translate this? Did you hit a point where you said, okay, now I'm legit by everybody's standpoint, even my parents who thought I was crazy? I mean, when did you hit that point?
I don't know if I've even hit that point. I think my focus is less on my age and my relationship to the entertainment industry and more on, is this content funny? Is this good content? If I wasn't a part of this television show, if I didn't write this book, if I wasn't in this web video, would I watch this TV show? Would I read this book? Would I watch this web video? And that's kind of been my gauge since the beginning of creating things, is would I watch it if I separated myself? And that for me is an easier process to create than to get too caught up in the grand scheme of entertainment, because there's so many factors that you can't control in that space. And one of the reasons I did flock to YouTube and felt so closely related to web video rather than traditional media at the beginning was because you had creative control. There weren't gatekeepers the way they were in traditional media. You could post whatever you want. It was an open forum. You felt like you were part of a community, which is such a special feeling. And now trying to translate that to television and still create a community feeling around a television show and an interactivity around a television show has been an interesting process, but I think we're going to be able to do it.
Well, that focus and that continued hunger will serve you well, Grace. I'll tell you what, I mean, I love everything that you guys have done, and the Internet has brought us a lot of stars, except that Justin Bieber guy. But I want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. There goes Grace Helbig. Thank you.